Welcome back. You're watching Morning Live. Now, last night, the African Women's Chartered Accountants, or AWCA, named Public Protector Advocate Thuli Madonsela the 11th Woman of Substance. Last year, the award was won by former Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa and current United Nations Executive Director of UN Women, Phumzile Mlambo-Ngcuka. It's given to a woman who has played a significant role in uplifting the role of black women in accounting, audit and financial professions, or who has demonstrated quality and successful leadership in the areas of governance and business to realize gender parity. Advocate Madonsela joins us now. A very good morning and welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning, and good morning to the viewers as well.
Advocate, what does this award mean for you?
It means that women are appreciating the work that is being done by my office, and much as we are proud of being fair and impartial, there is still a soft spot for women for two reasons: because I've always been an activist for women's rights, but secondly, I owe this job to women.
Elaborate a little bit on that.
It was the South African Women in Dialogue that nominated me together with about 4 other women to contest this position, and I wasn't looking into it, so because of that I ended up in this position.
And obviously this idea about empowering women is something that's brought into sharp focus every single August across South Africa. There are many people that say that as soon as women get into a position of power, they kind of pull up the ladder. That hasn't been your experience.
It has not. I have been really a beneficiary of women taking up power in order to lift up other women and to lift society up as a whole. From the time I was at VETS, I worked with women in the trade union movement. I had worked very well with women. And to be a constitutional expert, it was women such as Frini Chinwala and Mavivi Manzini that brought me in. Law Commission, it was Bridget Mabandla who brought me in. So I can honestly say that I have been the beneficiary of the pull her up syndrome.
The pull her up syndrome, I like that. What would be your advice to other women leaders, those ladies that are in positions of power, especially during this month?
The important thing is that we use the power that we have been given to make a difference. And it boils down to remembering, what do you love? Why did you get into a position of power? What did you love? What did you want to bring about in society? Women such as Charlotte Maxeke, Olive Schreiner, Lillian Goye, Helen Joseph and others were driven by the power of love, loving us as human beings, loving peace, loving freedom. And they used then power to drive for freedom. But if you're driven by the power of love, you're going to be a proxy for other people, because if you're driven by the love of power, you'll be a proxy for other people, because all they'll know is you just want power, and they will put you in a position of power to do their things. So
it's all about the approach, isn't it? It's how you approach the situations and how you approach leadership.
It's about purpose. It's about I need power for what purpose? And you've got to think that through. If somebody, for example, insists that you should take up a position at a particular time, and it's not what you are looking at, because you, in your heart, you don't know what are you going to do with that power, it's better not to take that position. When you can find resonance between your sense of purpose in life and the position of power that you seek to occupy, that's a good match, because the power of love is going to drive what you do. You're going to make a difference. As we have seen, the first women that went into parliament, that first batch of Frini Chinwala, you could see that their voices in parliament transformed that space, transformed the laws of this country. And if you see the women that have gone into the judiciary, you can see their voices, the voices of people like Yvonne Mokoro coming through, with Yvonne, for example, having reminded us that within the Constitution, buried in that Constitution, is the value of Ubuntu.
You mention people in positions of power, and one of the most public debates has been around the issue of Nkandla. Yesterday we saw Parliament's ad hoc committee taking the resolution that the President is completely exonerated from paying any monies towards non-security upgrades of his private residence. What was your reaction when you heard that?
Well, I felt sad that Parliament made a decision that was not Parliament's decision to make. But the good thing is that Parliament has not decided it. It was the committee. If Parliament adopts that decision, firstly, it's not within Parliament's right to make that decision in terms of the separation of powers and in terms of the Executive Members Ethics Act. It's for the Executive to make that decision. And the Executive cannot make that decision based on the Minister of Police's report. It has to make that decision based on the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. And the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa gives administrative scrutiny of acts of the Executive to the Public Protector.
So what is the way forward then?
It seems to me that if Parliament adopts the position of the Portfolio Committee or of the ad hoc committee, there's no other way other than having a court of law settle this matter, but also settle the whole question of administrative scrutiny. It just reminded me of President Kruger, who, not familiar with the notion of judicial scrutiny, called it a principle of the devil. And I think we are faced with the same kind of crisis where we're now familiar with judicial scrutiny, but we're struggling with administrative scrutiny.
How successful will the EFF's bid be, in your opinion, going to the Constitutional Court?
Well, I can't decide for the Constitutional Court. All I can say, though, is that the Constitution is clear in terms of Section 181 of the Constitution, that the Public Protector has authority to investigate, report on, and take administrative and take remedial action in respect of acts of anyone who is a public functionary, including the President. Also, in terms of the law, then, when the Public Protector has spoken, just as the Auditor General or the IEC, the Public Protector has spoken, and the Public Protector, like all of the others, is subject only to the Constitution and the law, and only a court of law then can review decisions of the Public Protector.
There's an idea that the Public Protector's report is merely recommendations and they can be adopted or not.
Well, that view is not even consistent with the decision of the Honourable Judge Skeepers. He didn't say it's merely a recommendation. He did say then in his first judgment that it was a recommendation, but functionaries within the state who are affected by that decision have to engage with the Public Protector before deciding what to do. And that engagement has not taken place. So even in line with the first judgment of the Honourable Judge Skeepers, what has happened is constitutionally wrong. Judge Skeepers, though, changed his mind in the second judgment when he said there's lack of clarity regarding what the Constitution means when it says the Public Protector has power to take appropriate remedial action. And that clarity must be provided by the Supreme Court of Appeal urgently, which is going to happen in September.
In September? What date in September? Have they given us a date?
The 18th of September.
The 18th of September. And that is going to be a very, very important date to know just how far the powers extend, because this is something that's come into the spotlight, especially when it comes to your office. Congratulations on your award last night. Thank you very much for all the work that you and your office does. And thank you very much for coming into Morning Live.
Thank you to the women of AWCA. I'm energized. My team is excited and inspired.
Lovely stuff. Thank you very much. That's Public Protector Advocate Thuli Madonsela. We will be having somebody from the ANC ad hoc committee coming into a studio to speak a little bit about some of those developments that happened in Parliament later on right here on Morning Live. Stay with us.